Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're having a great day today. Happy Tuesday, September 17th. We have some things going on today. Well, first of all, we got 3 new goldfish for a whopping 48 cents from a local pet store. It was awesome. But seriously, we went to Walmart and PetSmart and all these places and we couldn't find fish anywhere. And we had started at the local place, but we couldn't find a small filtered tank. So we went, got our filtered tank, went back to the local place. And the first time we were there, we got rainbow rocks. And the second time we were there, we got 3 goldfish. And it was cool because he picked out a white one, a dark one, like a kind of like a brown, and then an orange one. So the boys are very happy. We have a soccer game tonight, so we're excited about that. And I'm also working on a 2027 locks and keys page. So I'll talk more about that as I progress to finishing it. And then when I'm done with it, maybe I'll just like walk through like on a live or something, and then you guys can check it out. And I'm going to try to build some like free resources around that. And so in my own life, like just looking out there, I am seeing so much tragedy and hardship happening. And the gates that we are in, conflict and crisis, they're heavy sounding gates, they're emotional. We've got this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces tonight. A lot of people are talking about that. And so we are going through some wavy times. And I just want to talk about a couple specific things really quick. And they're kind of heavy, but I think that they're important. So first of all, you are equipped to face the unknown. Absolutely equipped. Anything that you are facing that you've never faced before, you don't know what to do, it's okay. You can trust yourself and you can trust life and you can meet that experience head on because you are prepared. You have been prepared throughout your life to meet the experience that you're meeting now, and you can feel confident in showing up that way. I've had terrible sinus allergy things since the ghost pepper, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. And the unknown, literally today, right now, tonight, it can ground us and drive us in our life. If we can allow it to be there and let it exist and know that we're equipped and know that we'll get everything that we need within our experience, we will be okay, so just trust it and just do your best to relax through what you're going through now. There's so much power in allowing conflict. There is nothing wrong with conflict if it is handled in a healthy way, if all the viewpoints are allowed and everybody is looking to understand, in the situation. There's nothing wrong with conflict. So we can dive in. We can do it in ways that honor ourselves and each other. If someone loses it, they can take a step away for a moment, for days, for weeks. It's like we have to learn how to regulate ourselves in there in order to communicate and get to logical solutions so that we can continue moving forward together. And so I want to talk about death specifically. You are the frequency of all time, and what we are can incarnate in multiple lives. And when we die, we go to the firmament. If everything is operating correctly, we go to where we need to go, and everybody eventually goes there anyways. We do not leave, nobody's left behind, nothing happens without all of us. And so death is something that we truly do not understand. And at least for a very long time, we have not needed or been given the opportunity to understand it or dive into it collectively, all together. I was in a class last week and we talked about many of the tribal people, they may have kept their death practices and they may feel very good and correct for them, but it's like on a global scale, I think that we are going to be facing it in ways that we haven't had to in a very long time. And we are going to get to understand it and understand how to treat it and what we need through the process that leads to it. We have so much to learn. And I think that this incarnation specifically, a lot of it is about those big scary places that we have not been able to look at or have time with. And we're kind of getting that now. And so a lot of this incarnation is about the death and incarnation process. And we can do it together. It's okay. And I've seen so much of it within the last week, and it's heartbreaking to me. And losing my dad, I feel like I faced it head on, and we had a GoFundMe and we had so much support and it was so fast. And so it's such a thing when it happens, and it's always so unique. But what I do know is that life gives us and takes us. And it does it when it's time, and there's nothing that we can really do. This is so much my fear of like God or life, because the unknown can come any moment, whether that's leaving a job, losing a person, a pet, like going into a new experience, having to travel by yourself for the first time, like throwing a party. Like, we meet the unknown in all kinds of different levels. And I think that death is the hardest unknown that we continuously meet throughout the entirety of our lives. The other one that I want to talk about, and this one's much lighter, is meeting your own needs. And maybe it can be just as heavy, but there's something that we can do in the unknown. In the worst circumstances, we can respond to life and we can attempt to meet our needs. It's like we can attempt to brush our hair, brush our teeth. We can put the oil on our skin. We can eat the food. We can drink the drinks and get the sleep that we need. We can change our environment to the best of our ability, to take care of what we see and what we feel and where we're at. It's like we can meet our needs and we can focus on the things that we can control when we are going into the unknown. Doing that offers us signature feelings. So in human design, signature is like what you feel when you're doing the things, when you're responding to life in the way that works for you. It's like we can experience satisfaction, peace, success, surprise, just by focusing on the things that we can control and responding directly to them. And it's like there's so many people going through the hardest circumstances. It's like if I'm on the street and I clean up a little section of this sidewalk, I might feel some satisfaction that I wouldn't have felt if I didn't respond and do that thing. And so it's like no matter where you are, no matter what it looks like, you can respond to your life and you can find these feelings. You can work with life to walk to where your next place could be, to get to your next level, to where you're going, because life is helping you and you can know that and work directly with that. Okay, so 3 emotional waves today. Very wavy environments happening here. And something I want to talk about is that this defined emotion and receiving emotion thing, like this, empathic people, they're like, I just feel the other person and all this stuff. In human design, there's 9 energy centers, and we receive in the white centers and we put out in the colored centers. And so when it comes to the emotional waves, some people literally create them and put them out through their aura into the environment, and other people receive them and feel them in here. And so we are becoming conscious of this emotional thing that has always been subconscious for us. And it is like the number one problem in the world. We have to learn who we are and who we're not on the inside. We can't take power and pride in being an empath. We have to know when we are internalizing someone else's pain, and we have to stop doing that. And so it's time. Yeah, I'm doing a live. It's Jeff. So it's time to start watching these things in ourselves and paying attention to these emotions and your communication and your interaction with others. Okay, when we receive the wave, we amplify it even bigger than maybe the person that's creating it feels it. And that can be really dangerous. You can walk into your workplace and pick up a low, and it comes into you and you feel low. And all of a sudden your mind's like, oh, this is because I'm trying to get a divorce from my wife, or I need to go kick my dog, or whatever reason. Your mind is going to give it a reason. And if you give it a reason, if you make a decision about what that means, you can carry that around in your pocket for all of time. And you can let it influence your action and behavior and all this stuff. So it's like we have to know when it comes in, we have to allow it, it can flow out. We don't internalize it. We don't try to mentally explain it to ourselves and drive our actions out into the world. And we're in such huge amounts of this energy right now with all 3 of these emotional gates happening. And so 6.4, it's called Triumph. And today is an externalization day. So we are out and we are sharing. We are getting our emotions across, which is sweet, maybe. This is a power wave of kindness and meanness. So maybe sweet, maybe really mean. And it can be a long wave, it can be a really high level of kindness for a long time. And then when it comes into the slow, it can be this meanness. And it's a fourth line. So it's so much about being friends. It's like, okay, they're my friend. I'm going to try to get this across. And it's like, wherever you guys are at in the wave is going to determine that level of kindness and meanness. And if you're open emotionally and you're receiving and amplifying, you could be putting out the kindness and meanness even bigger than the person that's creating the wave. And so that in itself can kind of create problems, but it's like if we can share those emotions, we have the potential to create intimacy. And so this line, it says a position on natural and unchallengeable power. The charity and wisdom that must come with victory and the movement towards new horizons. The power of emotions to dominate a relationship. So when you are defined emotionally, if you are in your flow, one track, if you're in your alignment, if you're living your life, you're automatically going to win. Because everybody's just going to grab onto that frequency and just roll with you. You've got the clarity, and the clarity is so strong, and it's like we all feel it. We're all with you. And it's like so much of that could be what you see today, and that kind of is this triumph thing. And so we have to also understand that there can be conditioned definitions. So it's like, say that you create a wave, but as a child that wasn't allowed, and everybody around you felt your lows bigger than you did. So they're constantly trying to change your mood and manipulate your circumstances to make you feel some type of way or see it some type of way. And so it's like it can be so conditioned, it can be repressed, it can be all kinds of things. And it's like for no reason at all, humanity right now needs to pull this thing out, allow it, and let it stabilize so that we can live in a healthy emotional environment, like globally, because it is like the number one cause of violence. And as we become conscious of it, we can take responsibility for treating it correctly for each of us individually, because it will be unique how each person should treat the emotional wave inside of them. And so when we can allow the wave, what you're going to see in relationships, support, honesty, emotional maturity, you're going to see patience, clarity being gained over time. It's going to be peace, it's going to be nice. But it's like on the other side, when you come into this detriment, it says the conqueror and purger. Lack of emotional control is destructive to relationships. So it's like maybe in this side, relationships are exposing unconscious patterns to you. You're seeing that you've been doing things and you didn't realize it. And that is going to demand that you change or have some type of personal growth. So it's like this is the other side. But listen, dive into the conflict. The conflict is the solution. Like conflict isn't scary. Like if everybody's working together to attempt to understand, then we are all trying. We are all on the same team. There's nothing to fight here. There's no argument to be had because we are just trying to get to the solution together. And it's like if we can just honor what's happening now and respond directly to it and not react, not take it personal, make it about the thing, the goal, whatever you're trying to do, then it can be the literal solution. And we can also allow difference. We can allow the two different perspectives, opinions, experiences. We can work together to understand. And those two unique views, they can offer a fuller perspective. And so this is grounded in 36.4, which is big waves, the gate of crisis. This line is called spying. So maybe we are sharing secret and covert like information. We're out there gaining it, looking for it, sharing it. And this is wanting information to fulfill your experience that you're going through now. So it's like you're looking for an answer and maybe you get it from somebody else. And I think that can be as simple as like taking a course or listening to a mentor or, really anything. But I also think it can get pretty strange. It's like this exaltation, it talks about this is preparing for decline by receiving secret or privileged information. And it's like, this can be like esoteric or covert information. This can be like, maybe you pick it up from a show or you go get like a tarot card reading and you get it from them. Maybe it's like a customer at your workplace. Maybe it's like, some arcane energetic person, like who knows, maybe it's an advertisement on Facebook, but it's like you can pick this information up in these strange and covert ways. But like something that we need to understand, tarot card reader, therapist, anybody, any authority figure that we're sitting down with, mentor, no mind knows for you, including your own. Like your mind doesn't know where you're going, and their mind doesn't know that either. And we can do our best to attempt to understand ourselves and other and life, but it's like we have to come from the inside. So it's like, okay, I'm receiving information. I resonate with that. My authority says yes to that. No, my body doesn't like that. It says no. Like my heart stops beating, it shrivels up, it shrinks away. It's like I'm looking for things that aren't just my mind, because my mind will believe the words. It will put the person on a pedestal. It will go off and take the adventure and believe what they say. And so we're at such a sticky time right now because we have to have our own internal authority with where we're going. And we have to be bigger than belief. Like you're beyond belief. And we can't be so busy looking at others that we're not looking at ourselves and what we are doing. The other side of this says offering services after recognizing and accepting decline, basically. It's like if you weren't able to see what was happening and you're like crashing and burning and you're recognizing it and you're seeing it, it's like failing to understand can come with a price. And that price can be time, experience, money. You can have a blackmail, you can go into a crisis. You can have to get that information or that experience in a much harder way, as your experiences like kind of like repeat and cycle. And so it's like when we are in our experience, we have to listen to understand. And if we don't, we'll get it through experience. And we can let that happen. If we eventually see, if we stop doing the thing, if we put down the pattern, if we can have more fulfilling relationships, if we can have more like hope and joy and fun in our life, like all of that's worth it. And it's worth it to be honest and do whatever we need to do to eliminate the resistance that's causing so much trouble in our life. The only thing that's going to happen as we repeat through our experiences is that we are going to gain the ability to make our own decisions more and more so, and stop being so controlled by other people and the words that they say, their experiences, what they share, what they think, the knowledge that they have, the tool that they use that's better than yours, like all of these things. Some of that stuff is right for you to hear and some of it's not. And so you have to be the one that can tell, or not. And so that's what this really can teach us. As we move through these experiences, we can gain more of that discernment, and we can come more into ourselves and more into the ability to find our personal right and wrong and yes and no. Okay, so last but not least, Moon is in 22. This is the gate of grace. So we're looking at social grace or maybe disgrace. And this brings a lot of change, individual rejection, a lot of mutation. Like this is the way that the mutation gets out. The individual comes, it can mutate the collective. And it's like on a very basic level, you're wearing the latest pair of jeans and the collective's like those are so gross. Like, what are you doing? But like 2 weeks later, they're all wearing them. It's like, it can happen like that, so it can be hard to be the mutative, unique individual in the social situation and meet the one carrying that change. And so this is all about basically just sharing your uniqueness and really honoring your mood. It's about you as an individual. And if you honor your mood, eat when you want to eat, go out if you want to, be alone if you want to. It's about honoring your individuality alone or together. And so don't feel pressure to go out. Even if you've made plans, if you're not in the mood, you can easily just cancel them and just let that be. You can just let that be your no. You're like, oh, I can tell I'm not in the mood, so I should say no to this. And you can look at that as just simply honoring yourself. And so let's see. Tonight, we have the potential to get our emotions across. Well, today and tonight, really, until these gates are gone, which will probably be Saturday night. We are sharing these two emotional energies of 6 and 36. And so we have the potential to get emotions across, receive information to fulfill our experiential cycle, honor our mood and our individuality alone and together. And as we move through the eclipse tonight, both the Earth and the moon, I believe, are in 36.4, while the sun is in 6.4. And so just relax, do things that you like to do. If you're in a hard place, attempt to embrace it. And you can embrace it in both your attitude and your activity. You can trust what's happening and know that it's going to take you to other places, that time can help, that you will help others with what you experience. But you can just let time move you and you can embrace the things that happen. You can do that in attitude. You can also do it in activity. If you are in a humongous low, it's like go turn music on and lay in your bed, like turn off the lights, like take a bubble bath, take a walk, color a picture, do the things you want to do, call your friend, whatever you want to do, honor yourself, because there's no reason to get amplified when we're already going to be so amplified by the energetic weather. You can always take care of yourself, focus on the things that you can control, emotionally support yourself and your people. And the most important thing to me right now is that every human needs to build a relationship with life. Every human. And that's inside outside relationship. That's inside outside atheism, theism, life, you are a part of it. And if you recognize that, you can move with it and work with it. And so it's like we are all part of it. And if we can all begin to recognize and move with it, we can have a relationship with it. We can learn and understand from it and be who we are within it and be carried to the experiences that we're going to have in it. And so it's like build a relationship with life. It's time to come into our own inner authority. And I think that can feel so alone. It can feel so like you're misunderstood, and it can feel so full of rejection and crisis. And it's like, I love building a relationship with life because that kind of puts it outside yourself. It's not your mind. Your mind can be talking mad shit to you. But if you're trusting life, you've still got something there, and it's like if you have inner authority, trust can be in that. It's like find these things that you can put your faith and trust in your own, like cognitive spiritual view, in your own body, in your own temple. And so, yeah, I hope you guys have a great couple of days. I will be back on Sunday. And if I get that page released, I'll post something about it and go live about it. I love you guys. Have a great day. I will see you soon.